Today, we are going to discuss the continent of South America. It is the fourth largest continent, which extends from the Gulf of Darien in the northwest to the Tierra del Fuego archipelago in the south. Alongside the mainland, the continent encompasses several island groups, including the Galapagos Islands of Ecuador, Easter Island belonging to Chile, the Falkland Islands governed by the United Kingdom, and Chile's Chiloé and Juan Fernández archipelagos. These diverse landscapes contribute to South America's rich cultural, environmental, and geopolitical identity. The continent derives its name from Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci, the first European to propose that the Americas were distinct from Asia. His assertions led to the differentiation between North and South America. The landmass south of the Isthmus of Panama thus became known as South America, forming a unique cultural and geographical entity within the Western Hemisphere. South America is often divided into distinct subregions. The Andean states, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, are characterized by the Andes Mountains, indigenous heritage, and economies based on mining, agriculture, and tourism. Caribbean South America, which includes Colombia and Venezuela, features a tropical climate, coastal plains, and a mix of African, indigenous, and Spanish influences. The Guianas, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana are distinct due to their colonial past under British, Dutch, and French rule, respectively. The southern cone, comprising Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and Paraguay, is marked by European influences, temperate grasslands, pampas, and strong agricultural and industrial economies. South America comprises numerous countries, including Colombia with Bogotá as its capital, Venezuela with Caracas as its capital, Guyana with Georgetown as its capital, Suriname with Paramaribo as its capital, French Guiana with Cayenne as its capital, Brazil with Brasilia as its capital, Uruguay with Montevideo as its capital, Argentina with Buenos Aires as its capital, the Falkland Islands with Stanley as its capital, Chile with Santiago as its capital, Peru with Lima as its capital, Ecuador with Quito as its capital, Bolivia with Sucre as its constitutional capital and La Paz as its seat of government, and Paraguay with Asunción as its capital. South America's geographical diversity significantly impacts its climate, resources, and human settlement patterns. The Amazon rainforest, Andes Mountains, Pampas grasslands, and Atacama Desert are just a few of the continent's defining physical features, each fostering unique ecosystems and ways of life for its inhabitants. Historically, South America was home to several advanced civilizations. The Inca Empire, for example, emerged in the Andean city of Cusco, Peru, in 1438. The Incas developed an extensive road system, facilitating trade and communication across their vast territory. Trade and cultural exchange flourished among South America's early societies. Communities along the Pacific coast relied on fishing and maritime trade, while Amazonian tribes utilized the region's abundant natural resources. The Andes provided both security and agricultural opportunities, fostering the growth of powerful civilizations. The arrival of European colonizers in the 15th and 16th centuries brought profound changes to South America's cultural landscape, particularly Spain and Portugal, through the Treaty of Tordesillas. The introduction of African slaves further altered South America's demographic and cultural composition. Enslaved peoples brought their own traditions, which blended with indigenous and European customs. This cultural fusion is particularly evident in Brazilian religious practices such as candomblé, which incorporates African, indigenous, and Catholic elements. Another hallmark of South American culture is the gaucho tradition of Argentina and Uruguay. Gauchos, or cowboys, emerged in the 18th century, living off the land and trading cattle products. Their rugged independence and equestrian skills became emblematic of national pride and folklore. Religious festivals remain a vital aspect of South American identity. The Carnival of Rio de Janeiro, for instance, combines Catholic traditions with Afro-Brazilian influences, drawing millions of visitors and generating substantial economic activity. South America's political history has been marked by both unity and conflict. Wars of independence in the early 19th century led by figures such as Simón Bolívar and José de San Martín, liberated much of the continent from Spanish rule. However, internal struggles and external influences continued to shape national policies. The Cold War era brought significant political turbulence to South America. U.S.-backed military dictatorships in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay sought to suppress communist influences, often resorting to human rights violations and political repression. Urbanization is a pressing issue in South America. The continent's cities continue to expand rapidly, leading to challenges such as job insecurity, inadequate housing, and strained public services. Many urban areas struggle to accommodate the growing populations, exacerbating social inequalities. Religion also plays a crucial role in shaping South American culture. Roman Catholicism, introduced during the colonial era, remains the dominant faith, with Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Peru having large Catholic populations. However, Protestant Christianity, particularly evangelical and Pentecostal movements, has been growing, especially in Brazil and Chile. Indigenous spiritual traditions are still practiced, often blending with Catholicism in countries like Bolivia and Peru. African-influenced religions, such as Candomblé and Umbanda, are also prevalent in Brazil. Smaller Jewish and Muslim communities exist, particularly in Argentina and Brazil. The dominant language across most of the continent is Spanish, spoken in countries such as Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Peru, and Venezuela. However, Portuguese is the official language of Brazil, the largest country in South America. Indigenous languages such as Quechua in Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador, Guarani in Paraguay, Aymara in Bolivia and Peru, and Mapudungun in Chile and Argentina remain widely spoken. Other languages include Dutch in Suriname, French in French Guiana, and English in Guyana and the Falkland Islands. The continent's racial and ethnic composition is highly diverse. Indigenous peoples, including the Quechua, Aymara, Mapuche, Guarani, and Yanomami, have inhabited South America for thousands of years, with Bolivia, Peru, and Ecuador having significant indigenous populations. Mestizos, individuals of mixed European and indigenous ancestry, form the majority in many countries. Afro-South Americans, descended from African slaves, have strong communities in Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. Additionally, South America is home to Asian communities, particularly in Brazil, Peru, and Argentina, where significant numbers of Japanese and Chinese immigrants have settled. Music and dance play an essential role in South American identity, with styles such as samba in Brazil, tango in Argentina and Uruguay, cumbia in Colombia, vallenato in Colombia, and Andean music in Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. Festivals such as Brazil's Carnival, Peru's Inti Raymi, and Bolivia's Fiesta de la Virgen de la Candelaria showcase the deep cultural heritage of the region. The cuisine is equally diverse, featuring iconic dishes like arepas in Venezuela and Colombia, ceviche in Peru and Ecuador, asado in Argentina and Uruguay, feijoada in Brazil, and empanadas across the continent. Thank you very much!